everyone. So today we're going to be talking about anxiety in our hand-brain model. Some of you guys have already learned this, but I'm going to teach it again today. This is good for all of our students at pre-K through 8. So anxiety, what is it and how does it feel in our body? So anxiety is like when our heart races, our armpits might sweat, our hands sweat, our cheeks feel red and flushed. That's anxiety, and we kind of have a feeling of worry. So I want to tell you what's going on in your brain whenever you're feeling that, because it's really cool what's happening. So anxiety is the fight, flight, or faint response. So anxiety makes us want to run or freeze or hit. So it's fight, flight, or freeze. Some of the best freezers are fainting goats. If you guys have ever watched those, because they're amazing, and if you haven't, right after this, watch some fainting goats, because they're the perfect example of what anxiety looks like in a freezing type animal. Another one is a possum. Okay, so when our brains are in fight, flight, or freeze, something is happening in our brain. So this is our brain. Okay, we're going to picture it just like this, except ours is a little bit bigger. But it has a brain stem, and your brain stem is right here in the back of your brain. And that brain stem is what's responsible for like your breathing and your heart rate and when you feel hungry. Those are like just the things in your body to keep your body alive every day. The front part of our brain is our thinking brain. So that's like when we're doing math or we're learning social studies or if we're trying to write a book or whatever. This is the part of our brain that is usually in control. Okay? Now, sometimes when something startles us or whenever we're feeling anxious, this part goes offline. It's not connecting. It's not able to think. It's offline. So that leaves this part exposed, and that means that's the part of our brain that's thinking. And only thing it's there for is survival. So when your front part of your brain is offline, this part's the what part that's working, and it's like fight, flight, or faint. That's what it's saying. It's just here to survive. So it sends all this stress hormone, and then we start feeling kind of anxious. So what we have to do is get the front part of our brain back online. Once we do that, our anxiety will be over. So how do we do that? It's really cool and it's super easy. We could do our belly breaths. We talked about those earlier in the year, where you breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, smell the candle, or smell the cake. Breathe out, blow the candle out. Smell the cake, blow out the candle. If we do, say, 5 or 10 of those, that'll bring the front part of our brain back online. Here's another challenge. I want you to spot 5 blue things in the room. So take a look around for a minute and see if you can spot 5 blue things in the room. I'll give you just a few more seconds. All right. So were you able to spot 5 blue things? Good. That is the front part of your brain coming back online and working. Right? So let's do this. Sitting tall, looking straight at me, taking in a deep breath. Boo! All right, so that might have lit up your fight or flight. Now let's turn it back down. 5 blue things. Go. There you go. Deep breath in, out through the mouth. So maybe yours lit up that time, and maybe you were able to calm it down. And that's how you handle anxiety, my friends. All right, stay tuned for the book. Fiona Flamingo. I love flamingos. On a beautiful sunny afternoon where life was simply the best, a little flamingo named Fiona hatched from her egg in a nest. Little Fiona grew up, making lots of friends. They played flamingo games from day's start till day's end. As the time passed, the birds all became stronger. They also got pinker and their feathers grew longer. They turned pinker and pinker with each feather they grew. They got bigger and bigger until some of them flew. Fiona remained featherless until it happened one night. She woke up with feathers, but they were bright white. The other flamingos gasped, and stared at her in shock. They couldn't believe what they were seeing, and wildly they began to squawk. Squawk. How do you squawk? That was my best squawk. Her friends looked at the white feathers, not knowing what to think. You're not the right color. Flamingos are supposed to be pink. With everyone shouting, Fiona began to get scared. She looked at her feathers, and then she looked at theirs. You don't have to be so loud, and please don't make a scene. That's when Fiona started shaking, and her feathers turned to green. When her friends saw the change, they squawked louder and meaner. Fiona got more anxious, and her feathers grew greener. Her friends looked at the green feathers, not knowing what to think. Stop being so silly, Fiona. Flamingos are supposed to be pink. Oh no, said Fiona. This is worse than just bad. But her feathers kept on squawking, and then Fiona got mad. Oh, but her friends kept on squawking, sorry. And then Fiona got mad. You're making me angry, she jumped and furiously said. That's when Fiona started yelling, and her feathers turned red. She's in her red zone, right? The flock became silent, hoping things would get better. But Fiona got madder and her feathers got redder. Her friends looked at the red feathers, not knowing what to think. Don't you think you should calm down now? Flamingos are supposed to be pink. They all rushed to hug her, and now Fiona felt bad. Her anger was fading, but now she felt sad. Ooh, she's going to get in her blue zone. That's the sad zone, yeah. She whimpered and cried. I'm all mixed up in hue. That's when Fiona started sobbing, and her feathers turned blue. The flock watched from afar, and their concerns grew truer. But Fiona just got sadder, and her feathers just got bluer. Blue is the sad zone, right? Her friends looked at the blue feathers, not knowing what to think. Just what kind of bird are you? Flamingo's supposed to be pink. No one could cheer her up. So instead, they stayed away. That's when Fiona got lonely and her feathers turned gray. A young chick floated up with a gaze so pure and true. I hope my feathers change colors when I'm as big as you. Fiona flashed a happy smile and her feathers erupted in color. It was a surprise to everyone. No feather was like any other. Pink, white, and green, red, blue, and gray. She was every single color now, and that's the way she'd stay. The entire flock gathered around, and Fiona gave a big wink. I guess we've all learned a lesson here. Flamingos don't have to be pink. There we go. Oops. What a wonderful book. I love that book. All right, guys, have a wonderful evening.